A guy that I used to know posts these on social media. They're all pretty standard fodder as far as political right-wing memes go. They kind of paint the left as the extremist view and then paint the right as the rational view. But this one specifically is fascinating to me because it's not meant to be ironic. It didn't used to be that images of a white nuclear family dressed in traditionally modest 1950s outfits would evoke white supremacy and Christian nationalism to us, because it just used to be the standard. And I think the fact that you can just show a white traditional family and everyone gets the joke is a sign that the social movements are working. I've been spending a lot of time with the writings and interviews of Eleanor Roosevelt. She is known as one of the great feminists of her time and someone who really cared about the civil rights movement. But what is so stark and noticeable about her writings is how much race and white supremacy was not a part of the conversation. In fact, in her writing about communism and how much worse communism was, she says something to the effect of, "We are working to attract the global population to the idea of capitalism. People say our black and brown people are treated badly in this country, but it is not so bad as they say." Basically downplaying race and the plight of the civil rights leaders. Retreat to traditional values and purity is always a response that the country has to progress. In the early 20th century, we had prohibition. In the 1950s, we had the image of the perfect housewife and the perfect nuclear family. And today we kind of have this rejection of queerness as an identity. And interestingly, a rejection of medicine, medical technology, food additives, going back to the idea of purity. And I would argue that at any time in history, this family was only ever a fetishization. I don't think it ever really existed. The mythology says that this family can exist in a vacuum without any negative externalities. And of course, we know today, just by seeing the photo, not even reading any text, that for this idea to exist, it has to stand on the shoulders of poor people and marginalized people. When we think about capitalism, we think about racism. And I think that that's a success. What worries me is we do not yet have a picture or a story about what our future is like. Right now, we are so concerned with getting back to business as usual. No matter what part of politics you resonate with, everybody is just saying, we used to be great and now we're not, and how do we get back to that? And I don't care if you're a country or you're an individual person. If you're more focused on preventing problems than looking forward to what you want to create or what you want to build, that's just a recipe for slow decline. And we're definitely not going to get out of this by fetishizing purity.